we're back again. I'm hexed by the fact that this Canon camera will only record for 10 minutes at a time. I think I was wrong. I think this is Tycho right here. Yeah, I'm sure that's Tycho. It's one of the brightest features on the moon, most easy to recognize because it's got all the spikes going out from it. Clavius is to the north and to the right of Tycho. Oops. So I believe somewhere right around the center of the screen there is where Clavius is. Can you tell the neighbor's home? Wrong direction. Gotta remember, down is up on the keypad. This lens is working much better than I thought it was gonna. It's a little touchy to focus, but once you get it focused, it really does work pretty well. I mean, the detail is just blowing me away right now. Other than all the air ripples. But Lord, that looks cool. The big difference is this tripod too. This tripod is computerized, so I can slew it around. The camera's attached to the head of the little robot here on top of the tripod. So I just touch a button and it slews the camera around. You know, you get that little bitty wobble for a second or two. But it's not like when I was trying to do it by hand the other night on the other tripod. That other tripod's just a real cheap little Walmart special. And it wobbles like crazy. It would never have held up to this lens. That just blows me away. And quite frankly, I think we ought to go back to the moon before we go to Mars. Yeah, we've been there and done that, but I look at it this way. You put a staging base on the moon before you try to go to Mars. You know, I almost swear you can see the lunar module there. I just can't tell. There's a bright little spot there. The sun's almost at a right angle to cast a shadow on it if it's actually visible here. Whoops, too far. that down. There we go. There's a little bright spot coming right to the center of the screen right now. I just wonder if that isn't it. When I was a kid in high school, we had a old beat-up telescope. The chemistry science teacher had laying around, and he was nice enough to get the school to put the stand in for me, concreted in, and they built a little observatory around it. And I recall spending the good part of that winter of my junior year and the summer right before my senior year spending just about every night out in that little observatory. Now that telescope I could see probably about as well as what we're seeing here. I mean, it was an 8-inch telescope, but it was ancient as heck. And the mirrors, there goes the fire truck back home. The mirrors were not that great a shape, but it kind of started my original interest in astronomy. I think what we will do once we get the telescope is we'll go out on the old Air Force base out near the golf course where it's nice and dark, and maybe that'll make it a little bit easier to try to set the tripod up. Damn, a mosquito flew right in my mouth. Make it a little easier to sight the tripod in, and maybe we'll get to take a peek at Saturn's ring. Saturn's still in the evening sky. Jupiter and Venus are morning stars right now, so we're not going to be seeing those tonight. I plan on being sound asleep by the time those come up. Just awesome. This is working out much better than I thought. Better than I anticipated. Orion is going to be rising, but it's going to be blotted out by the moon. So we're not going to be seeing that. There's a nebula in the belt of Orion, the O-ring nebula. As we watch Tycho creep by. We got about 30 seconds left before the camera shuts itself off again. I think what we'll do is swap back to the other lens and try taking, I could probably take some stills with this one. So So I think we'll give that the old college try here. So we'll see you in a little bit. Hope you enjoyed this little trip to the moon. We'll be doing a little bit more of it in the future. So till later on, good night. Welcome back. Figured I'd try one more with my other lens. Oh God, that hurt. Before I called it a night. This is the lens we used Monday. You can see it's not quite as close. The other one is about twice as powerful as this one. This one's not bad, mind you, but the other one, it gets you right in there, close and personal. This is still quite a heck of a view. It's a little overblown. I think we need to turn. There, we'll try that. And we will see how that comes out in on the computer. But as you can see, a little bit farther out of a view. This is roughly 900 millimeters, where the other one was pushing, thank you train, the other one was pushing 2,000 millimeters. So that just shows you how big a difference. Thank you train. Oh, you gotta love the freight trains. But yeah. Wow, I just saw a nice shooting star over that way. That might be something we try to do here yet tonight. Problem being is we're in town, so the light pollution will probably wipe anything out. But I did see a pretty good shooting star just now. We might be able to catch a couple. Last night was the big night for the meteor shower though. Oh, there, we turned the speed down on the slew, so now it's a little smoother and doesn't jerk as bad. I learned something else. But yeah, that looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Now the lens I'm using now is just a straight through lens. It's not a mirror lens like the other one. You still see some of the ripples of air. Still, the atmosphere still affects what you're seeing a little bit, but it's not as pronounced as it was on the mirrored lens. The air is basically acting like a lens itself also. That's what's causing the ripples that you see. The different temperature variances in the atmosphere causes the little wave-like diffraction of light that you're seeing. That's still quite a view. I wish I could have got out here for the supermoon, but it was raining that night here, so we didn't get a chance to do that. As we slew around here. Get back up into there. Take a little journey across the moon. Yeah, this tripod's much nicer to use than that other one. This is just so much easier to maneuver around. We're shooting basically with daylight settings to capture the moon here, because basically you're looking at sunlight reflecting off that basically daylight side of the moon. So we're shooting 400 ISO. My shutter speed is at 320 right now. My f-stop is f11 right now. We're using a 3x digital zoom on top of the... Well, you know what? If I'm using a 3x zoom, we're basically shooting at 2700 millimeters right now, and I was shooting with the other one almost 6000 millimeters, because I was on the video part, I was using the 3x zoom also. So that would explain why this is almost telescope-like. There's a 15x zoom function in here, but I've still got to learn how to use the camera right to access that. I don't know, to be honest, how I turned on the 3x zoom. I accidentally hit a button and it popped on. But I wonder if I use that 15x zoom, if I might not be able to see the Apollo 11 lander up there. Get that in the center of the screen. See that bright white dot in the very center of the screen? Right now it should be in the center. Straight to the right of that, about halfway out towards the point of that lower bright arm, is where it ought to be. That's just awesome. It's actually getting a little chilly out here. I was sweating my, off when I was moving all this equipment out here. And now I'm actually kind of shivering out here. Temperature has dropped quite a bit. See, the clouds are moving in. Come on. There we go. Yeah, this is much nicer to use. Doesn't jerk everything all over the place. Only time the camera will shake is when I turn the recording off or turn it on. Oh, brrr. I might call this a night a little earlier than I planned on. We might get another jet go across the moon here. If we're really lucky, looks like it's heading for it. He might pass just to the east of it though. I might slew around and see if I can hit him. Nah. It's too hard finding the moon again. Oh, the battery is blinking. We're about to lose our battery, so I think we're just about done shooting. Anyway, so on that note, I guess we'll call it a night, because I'm freezing. And we'll talk to you soon. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you all later on. Good night.